What's up, everybody? This is Passion9, and today I want to talk about part 2 of this week's Attack on Titan final season review, episode 9. And man, this might in some ways be my favorite episode so far. Mostly because we finally get a crap ton of information about what led up to this attack on Marley. We finally get a big-ass, much-needed flashback 3 years prior. We start the episode, we've got Armin just recounting, where they were 3 years ago. And where they were was on the shoreline of Paradise, finding these Marleyan ships that were coming in, and just having Eren just like freaking lift up the entire boat and be like, yeah, you guys are gonna be staying here for a while. Not that Eren says that because he's a Titan at the time, but it's pretty freaking cool the moment we get from Hanji, who's just like standing there on the shore and is just like, hey guys, welcome to Paradise, have some tea with us, you stay a while. And of course they're taking these dudes hostage, they're taking them captive, this whole boat full of Marleyan sailors. Which is great stuff, because they end up doing this a lot, they end up getting a lot of ships. But this first one here, we find out, is actually carrying two sleeper agents, who already turn on the rest of the crew and are like, yeah, we'll take you up on your offer, we'll cooperate with you guys, go ahead and lead the way, let's have some tea. And she's just looking up at Eren's Titan, is just like, yeah, pleased to meet you. New character, Elena, I think I said that correctly, freaking awesome character. I mean, we just met her, technically, she does show up briefly at the end of episode 8, but what an interesting, weird character. Like, she reveres Titans, clearly, is against the Marleyan forces for taking her captive from her original, home nation or whatever. And they've been plotting this takeover. Her and, I forget this dude's name because it's kind of hard to pronounce, but her Bud, her and her sailor friend, like, they both just take over the ship and just like, yeah, we'll cooperate, we'll tell you everything about Marley, we want to be on your side. So, pretty freaking cool moment, pretty wild stuff. They take all of them captive, and at one point we even see Armin going into Colossal Titan to get more ships on the shoreline, using kind of the same strategy, but this time with, what is it, the wireless radio technology that the turncoat Marleyans brought along with them. So they end up using that to fool more Marleyan ships into coming to the shoreline and becoming captives as well, which is pretty fucking cool. We get Levi, we get the whole scouts just like being like, yo, welcome to the island of filthy devils, like just breaking out the sass, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. We get like Armin in the present just being like, yeah, this is what we were doing for a while, and it was fun. It was great working together as a team to capture these Marleyans and to defend Paradise from invaders. And we even learned that they've gotten rid of most of the Titans surrounding the outer walls, the outside of the walled cities and all that, which is pretty neat. I guess that was inevitable. I guess it was only a matter of time before they were like, yeah, we've killed so many Titans, there's not even any more roaming around, really. It's pretty awesome when you think about it. Like, enough time has passed, and they've gone beyond the walls enough that, like, yeah, they just killed most of them. Most of the stray, typical Titans. which is pretty dope. So they're sharing all this knowledge. Yelena is sharing all this knowledge with the scouts and telling them about Marleyan forces, and like, yeah, they've got blimps, they've got, you know, incredible weaponry that you guys is like, you know, it's way beyond anything the people of Paradise have. And it's funny seeing like Hanji freak out, like observing their guns and shit, and just being like, oh wow, you guys are way ahead of us. And it's like Levi's just like, yeah, keep your cool, you know. Don't show how like ignorant we are of this shit, because we gotta catch up. Because they're still being cautious with these characters. They're still being cautious towards the Marleyan collaborators, because they, you know, they could be in on something. It could be a plot of some kind of insurrection. Especially since we learned that we finally learned why Zeke joined forces with the Eldians, or willingly became their prisoner, I should say. And it turns out that started 3 years ago as well, because the two sleeper agents were actually sent by him. And they were meant to carry an invitation that says, hey, I know I've destroyed many of your scouts and all this other shit, but I have a plan that's gonna save Eldians, and it's to save the Eldian people for generations to come. But first you need to come get me, and we'll stage this whole thing. So basically, the whole Zeke plan was like years ahead, and they were debating like, can we trust him? Do we trust somebody who may have his own ulterior motives, you know, and may just be waiting for them to bite, take the bait. So pretty cool stuff. We finally get some background on that. We still don't know what Zeke's plans actually are entirely. We just know that it starts with him getting a Titan of royal blood and a Titan that has the founder Titan, which of course Eren already does. So even more interesting, we find out that the Titan that ate Eren's mom, the Titan, the big ass grinning Titan that we found out was Grisha's first wife, was in fact the trigger for his whatchamacallit in season 2, the coordinator power. It was in fact when he contacted with his fist, that was actually what triggered that. And I'm actually kind of glad they have that explanation, because I was starting to think that myself. I was like, yeah, why did he use it one time and never again? Like, there was never any mentioning of it. There was never... I kind of assumed, like, yeah, maybe he doesn't know how to use it entirely. He was just in a life or death situation. But no, it wasn't pure coincidence. There was some coincidence involved, since, you know, he just happened to be in front of the right Titan at the right time. But it's still freaking cool that this is what actually triggered that reactionary power to control all the other Titans. And we find out that the rumbling requires a combination of both the Founder and the Royal Blood Titans, which will awaken all the Titans that are hidden in the walls and is like their ultimate deterrent. So yeah, just so much being revealed here. And that's Zeke's plan. That's at least the start of his plan. It's like, yeah, let's round up, let's get a Titan of Royal Blood, and, you know, we already have the Founder with Eren, and then we have that possibility in our arsenal. And so that's where we are there. And so yeah, we find out that for years this is what they've been doing. They've been capturing these Marleyans, and slowly plotting, like, okay, how are we going to defend Paradise inevitably from more Marleyan attacks? You know, we find out, yes, they were at war at the time that these sleeper agents arrived. That is what started the season. It's that war. So they were too busy to retaliate. And it's great. It's great stuff. Because we get back to the present day, and everybody's just kind of torn after the battle at Marley. You know, everybody's just kind of like, yeah, what do we follow this up with? They got Zeke. they've got him captured. And Levi's like, yeah, don't worry, we got a special place for you where we're gonna keep you, because we sure as hell don't trust you. And he sends him to that forest with the big trees, you know, which is like an anti-Titan measure because of all the ODM slinging that they can do there. So, pretty smart stuff, pretty well played there. And we get this really sad stuff with Sasha. We find out, like, that they were growing close to some of these Marleyans. One of them becomes a cook for the soldiers, for the scouts. And he like, shows them seafood for the first time, and Sasha's just like, yeah, this is great. Like, you know, this is the best food ever. And when they come back in the present day, he's actually, like, grieving over the fact that, like, yeah, I used to cook for her all the time and now she's gone. So they became friends, and, you know, her father shows up at the gravesite, Sasha's dad, and he's like, yeah, you know, it's fine, we forgive you. We know that you're not with Marley anymore, so he's like, yeah, come over to my place and get food on the house, because your daughter loved my cooking, and you know, it's the least I can do is just offer you free service anytime. So that was a touching moment. You know, we've got all the scouts still grieving over Sasha. And it's great stuff. Another particularly great moment is when the scouts are all lined up at a, like, shooting range. And Armin and Mikasa are like, yeah, maybe the Marleyans aren't so bad. Maybe we can actually, you know, with time, given time, we can earn their trust back. We can clear the name of Eldians everywhere. Maybe that's the better approach. Maybe we can do this diplomatically. And Eren's just like, nah, we gotta keep them at bay. We gotta put them in their place first. We gotta retaliate, or, you know, they're going to strike first. He doesn't want any time. He's like, yeah, some of the Marleyans are friendly, some of the captives have grown closer and have become trustworthy, but how many of them are still captives, still prisoners, and still hate our guts? So there's definitely an element of, like, fear to Eren going on, where he's like, yeah, no, they see us as monsters, and they're right to fear us because we are monsters. You know, we have this power, and that's why they fear us, and that's why we have to do what we have to do. You know, so he's taking that approach. He's taking the fight or flight approach of, like, we strike first, you know, we strike back at them first. We don't give them a chance to, you know, to get the upper hand. And, you know, he doesn't trust the Marleyans one bit, which you can't entirely blame him for, given the, you know, series of events that have played out leading up to all this. And I'm pretty sure this is prior to the mission, prior to when he actually went to Marley. You know, he's still, we could see the seeds of it. We could see the seeds of him just planning, like if I could just get over there, you know, and Armin's still reflecting in the present day. He's narrating a lot of the episode, and he's like, yeah, at first it was fun, all of us working together and getting these captives, but ultimately there was no stopping Eren from going off on his own. There was no way he wasn't going to do that. It would have happened inevitably, even if the scouts didn't come to help him. He's like, I feel like I don't quite know him anymore. He's not the same person that he used to be. And, you know, they're buddies. They're longtime friends. They're childhood friends. And he's like, yeah, I feel like I knew him even better than Mikasa, maybe. And there's something changing in that dude. So, a lot of tension there. There's a really excellent cut in this episode where Eren is actually, he's at that firing range and he's firing the rifle. And as he pulls the trigger and fires away, the bullet immediately it transitions to Sasha getting shot on the airship, and it was like, oh man, the way that was done was it's a rough moment. It's like, yeah, this is the casualties here. You know, this is the series of events. And that kind of tone just haunts the whole episode. There's just a feeling of like, you know, 3 years ago when the episode starts, it's like, yeah, they were still, you know, kind of the same scouts, kind of the same, like, comrades, and there was a real teamwork going on. And then all of that just gets, you know, swept away when they're coming back from the battle at Marley. And everybody's kind of reeling, everybody's kind of unsure of where to go next, and whether or not Zeke and his mysterious plan could be trusted. And freaking Eren, man, just like, he's staring into that mirror, and he's just like, more chilling than ever before. And he's just like, yeah, there's only one way to win, and there's only one way to survive, and that's keep fighting. Just keep fighting and winning. And it's pretty stark foreshadowing there that, like, yeah, this dude's going to the dark side. Like, Eren is turning into a bad dude. And in ways that make perfect sense. You know, in everything we've seen leading up to this. But it's so great to finally get an episode where so much of this is coming to light, you know, where we're finally getting some time to kind of slow down. Not that this felt like a slow episode, but it finally slows down and just kind of, you know, goes back on all this stuff that we knew was happening for so long. But only getting little itty bitty bits here and there from, like, glances and quick bits dialogue, quick sentences and shit. We're finally getting a full view of where everybody's been for the last 3 years and what's been happening, and how they even got to Marley. We also get a fantastic reveal of Armin during his narration at the end of the episode. We see that the whole time, while he's sitting there cradling the seashell from Season 3, he's talking to crystallized Annie. He's talking to Annie, who is still in the crystal. Who knows if she can actually hear him or not, or is in any way aware. I mean, she looks like she's still asleep. But, yeah, Armin's just talking to her. He feels so indifferent to, like, Eren at this point, and so conflicted about, you know, where the Eldians are going and what's going to happen for their future. Everybody's just so split up, and he's just like, yeah, Annie, answer me, please. If you can hear me, say something. Like, he's kind of desperate to, like, get some other input, confide in somebody outside of, you know, the margins of what's going on with everybody else, all the angst, all the confusion and mourning. So it's a great reveal. Obviously Annie's gonna come back into the story at some point, conscious and well. It does make me wonder, does she age in there? Is she gonna be, like, much older and just waking out of a coma? Like, or is that crystal, is it more like, I don't know, carbonite or some shit? Like, I'm kind of curious about that, but more curious about her role in the story going forward, because, man, so much has changed from when she invaded that island. Like, everything is different now. The whole fucking monarchy has changed, and she wasn't there for it, so they're gonna have a lot to info dump on her ass. Great stuff. Great stuff. Great episode in general. I freaking love how it bounced around, how it just cut with all this exposition, all these characters that had to go, you know, get their moment in light. We even got some great new characters. Yelena is a fascinating character, so is her buddy, X something. I'll get his name right eventually. But they're interesting new characters, and they're mysterious, so we don't really know their motivations any better than Zeke. Maybe it is something that's gonna bite them in the ass later. Who knows? Like, they definitely don't seem 100% trustworthy. Oh, and of course Falco and Gabby are still in prison. We get an extremely quick, tense little moment where she actually really does remind me more than ever of young Eren. Like Eren as a kid, where she's just 100% vengeance. She's like, yep, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get Eren Yeager. She's just like foaming at the mouth practically. And it's like, yeah, history is repeating itself, it seems. The scars run deep. I can't wait to see where it goes next. I really can't. I think this has been one of the most, like, fulfilling episodes for me so far this season. At least on an expositional level. You know, it starts out kind of fun with all the stuff at the shoreline 3 years ago. We kind of get to see the scouts as they were, more or less. Even Sasha is her old self, you know. And contrast that with later on at the present day, and everybody's just tired. Everybody's just like, everybody, it's all sad. And you know, it's great drama. It's great drama. I love this season so far. And looking forward to the next. So viewers, thanks for tuning in. And tune in next time where I review episode 10 next week. Live for the passion. Till then.